Hey, everybody. So I'm here with the amazing Alex, who is one of my coaching clients, who I worked with doing my signature program, Make Happiness Your Business, which is a really deep dive 12-week program. And as you know, I'm launching the Burnout Recovery Yoga Pathway this week. And Alex has really kindly agreed to join me for a chat about his coaching experience so that you can get an idea of what it's like working together and coaching with me, and so you can hear from Alex directly what his experience was, and where he went from and where he arrived at, and what the whole thing was like. So hey Alex, how are you doing?
Hi Kat, I'm great. It's lovely to see you. Thank you for having me.
Oh, it's lovely to see you too.
Excellent. Well, certainly I think in terms of me meeting you and working with you, I had two startups, which I currently run a successful real estate business already, but I had two like passion projects and startups that I really feel that I felt I needed some guidance, some support, some understanding of how I was actually going to bring them to life. So they were kind of ideas on a page, which I had done a lot of research and then built. I'd been brand building on Instagram, but I knew it was time I wanted to bring them into the real world. So one was an alcohol-free aperitif, which I've been developing with a French distillery. And the other was my Sober Sommelier brand platform, sharing the wonderful world of no and low alcohol drinks. And I built an Instagram following of up to 4,000 people. So it's just like, well, how am I going to take these ideas from the kind of the metaphysical, as you will, into the physical? And so that was kind of obviously working with you through lockdown, doing yoga, understanding how you work, understanding your energy, understanding your processes with the happiness spiral and the various other tools and techniques that you have.
Yeah, because you were part of the membership, and I'm actually going to be relaunching that membership too. I'm really excited. And yeah, you were part of the membership community for a while, and then just decided. I remember one day you said, "Kat, I want to do coaching, and it's you. Tell me what you do." And I said, "Oh, that's great, because actually I've got the Make Happiness Your Business, and I'm really interested in helping you to to help put your idea into reality and make it happen."
I think for me, what was really interesting was obviously having that kind of the yoga side of things, but also you coming, there's a spiritual element in terms of, meditations and visualization, but also very practical business advice. And it's like really solid, grounded, taking the next right action, doing exercises. I think what I loved was each week I was, even if with a busy life, I still managed to find time to do the exercises, come back and get benefit for them. Because I suppose it's a bit like when you see a physiotherapist, it's not the work you do when you see the physiotherapist in the session, it's what you do, your physio, when you're on your own. So going away, having an exercise like, the flow chart, the business canvases, looking at the whole business as a whole, and saying, well, okay, this is my vision. If I had a perfect plan, a perfect vision of everything coming into fruition, what would it be? And putting that all down in a beautiful flow chart, seeing it all, and then effectively once that's on paper, you're kind of working backwards and going, okay, well, how are we going to, doing those beautiful groupings of well, okay, what, and the bullseye, and we were saying, right, okay, I think it was, was it the circle?
We had the wheel of well-being. Yeah, but there's a mix, very much, what I'm hearing from you, and what I think is important for other people to hear is the balance between the sort of energetic, the intention, the vision, and the practical, and sort of putting that into flow. And yeah, so we worked on sort of clocking where you're at the wheel of well-being, and really looking at where you want to go and what your goals are, and then putting a plan in place and taking weekly steps to get there, and so that there's a real clarity around what they are. Would you say that that's kind of what you experienced?
Absolutely. I mean, if you think about it, I kind of came to you with these ideas that were very much, kind of in the ether. And then through the process, we distilled those ideas, and then we started to bring them kind of into the physical. It's like, well, okay, how are we going to make this vision? What are your next right steps? What are the tools? What do you need to do?
And what's getting in the way, and what can be cleared?
What are the blocks? What are the clears? And also, as we talked about, it's very much about coming into alignment with what serves you best. What's your purpose? What what is your why, what is your how, what's driving you, and actually what is in alignment for the best version of yourself. Because there's no point building, foundations on sand. This is about actually setting the foundations for the journey to create the life that you want with your business, or with your startup, or with, or even just coaching in your life, in aspects of your job, and your balancing home and family life, whatever it is. It gives you the tools, and it's very practical tools, to come to a point where you actually see results. And certainly for me, I saw results because, we talked about it, wanting to bring my drink into fruition, my first batch, coming up with, the branding, getting a place to make it, finding a distillery to help me make it, and all these little really practical things that actually
key parts of the picture.
Exactly. But also having seen, doing the visioning, and actually seen where I wanted to be and what I wanted to get, was me at Christmas, with a run of bottles and the bottle in my hand, and that we very much did that in a visualization, and then that came to pass. And so I had
and then you sent me a bottle.
So that's the thing. I think a lot of people do, think about, well, when they go and do certain coaching, it's just like, oh, well, it's just, what does it mean? But actually, when it's practical and actually comes into the physical like this, it does serve. It's very valuable, and it also does connect you with actually where you're supposed to be. Because I think by design, it kind of you start whittling away the things that don't serve you, and you're just left with it, with a kind of molded, better version of you that is much more focused. I think so. That was that, and knowing that.
That's great.
So that, I think that's something that I certainly benefited from, and feel I've taken it through in all aspects of the businesses I'm involved in.
Oh, that's amazing, Alex. That's so great to hear. Yeah, I think focus is so powerful. That's one of the biggest challenges and one of the biggest inspirations for the burnout recovery yoga pathway, because we're taking the happiness spiral technique that we had in the Make Happiness Your Business deep dive and applying it to the problem of burnout, because it's such a rife issue right now after the last couple of years that we've had. What do you think, Alex, were your main challenges when we first started working together?
I think my main challenges was actually finding time to up level, finding time to bring my vision to life, and making time. Actually, that is the key to this whole thing, is realizing that, one, you deserve it, and two, that you can make time, and how to make time for stuff that is actually going to bring you the success and the goals that you want, that are actually of most benefit to you. Because I think, we plod along a lot of the time, and aren't, that the intention is not clear about where we're trying to get to, and what we're trying to achieve. And you can spend a lot of time. And I think for me, I was in that space of, I knew what I wanted to do, but I was kind of floundering a bit, because I was just, and there was so many things I wanted to do all at the same time. So it was overwhelming, and I think certainly, I suffered from burnout during lockdown, without question. Well, not lockdown, but kind of during the certainly the last year or so. Just as it's been an issue that we all have to really take care of, especially as we're not taking as many holidays as we were. People's kind of the downtime, but making time in your timetable for like now. I will meditate twice a day without fail every day. So
that's great.
I will cycle. I will do a bit of yoga if I can, but I do at least, I would say half an hour to 40 minutes meditation every day, which is just huge in terms of just connecting.
That's such a massive shift. Yeah. And I remember when when we had your consultation, and you were talking about feeling scattered and overwhelmed, but you were so, as you classically are, Alex, full of energy and inspiration. And that is wonderful. And I just saw that clarity, the light in your eye brighten up when you started talking about Cordus. And so it really, it was a pleasure to kind of help you to focus. And I think focus is such a massive topic, because we are in a time when we're distracted by social media, by notifications, by apps that are literally designed to distract us. Yeah. And so putting practices in place sort of framing boundaries around those things are really, really key. And those are some of the things that we cover in the burnout recovery yoga pathway. And the intention of this is that people that are feeling under par and people that are on that sliding scale, because of course burnout goes to sort of a feeling of endless busyness all the way to potentially having a breakdown, but people relate it to the extreme, and it's not just that. There are 12 stages of burnout, and the early stages are around maybe having a little bit more focus, maybe letting some people down around that we love, and saying, oh, I'm really sorry I can't make it for that dinner, or I can't make it to that thing that I said I do. And then it goes to, oh, I can't make that birthday or that celebration or that special occasion because I've got so much to do, and this kind of endless feeling of busyness. And then the social withdrawal, and then the shame around it, because as a high functioning, multi-dimensional, intelligent, capable human, you feel like you should be beyond it. And so you suffer in silence. And then that perpetuates that sliding scale. So, this course is designed for people who are feeling under par. And the idea is to bring everyone to the level that then we can dive deeper in the Make Happiness Your Business, or in the membership, or in any other way. Or you can just go, great, I'm back to balance, thanks very much, and go about your life, So hearing about your challenges, I think, is really, really key. And thanks. Yeah. Is there, what opportunity did you see in working together? And I think you've covered a little bit of that, but just basically, if there's anything else you want to add?
Well, simply that I felt safe in your hands. I felt, your understanding, that you were very much responsive to me. You understood where I was coming from in terms of the energetics, in terms of vision, in terms of goal, and trying, helping with trying to bring me into alignment. So I think, having worked with you in the yoga space, and then seeing, the tools that you bring to your coaching and the expertise, I felt like I was in safe hands. A bit like when you're teaching your yoga class, it's kind of like you tailor it to the person you're working with. And I think it just resonated, because it's kind of like we're all on a journey, we're all trying to get somewhere. But it's important that, if we're going to put ourselves, it's about trust, ultimately, trust and discernment. And I felt, that there was that level of trust, and you actually came to the table not as someone who's telling, but as someone who's co-creating, someone who's partnering with. It's much more, there's a real flow of energy as you're, we're getting the wins together. And that, to me, is what it's about. It's not someone who's kind of like being, you've got to be deferential and you're just taking the information. And it felt like we were co-creating something. So it's a very kind of
interactive and experiential.
There we go. Yeah. So
great. That's so good to hear.
Yeah, that resonated. And the fact is, it's kind of, you are, when you go into any course like that, it is what you put in is what you get out anyway. So I think anyone coming to it, that it's really, you've got to give as much as you can, because that's where the real gold is. It's really just giving into it and surrendering. Really, you've got to surrender to it and to the process. And
yeah, it's a mix of showing up with an amount of energy to the table, or at least focusing, shutting down distraction and being present for that time, as it is about sort of being guided and following a process. And I definitely think, with the burnout recovery yoga pathway, it is lighter on the steps, because the assumption is that people are really busy and that they're feeling lower in energy, and so the steps are very clear. And it's so good to hear you talk about focus and also time. What did you find? Can you just say a little bit about what feedback did you get? Sort of what changed in yourself and your life and business as a result of the coaching program?
Well, I think it just gave me the confidence and the belief, to go, right, now I know, now I can see the path. Before there was just lots of trees, but then I was like, kept hitting into logs and wood and hitting into, and then suddenly it's like, oh, there's a way through there. And actually I can see at the end, there's the the beautiful waterfall with the drink, and or whatever it is. It was like a clear vision and a way through. So then it wasn't so daunting about making the next step. It wasn't so daunting about taking the next right step. And also, if you make a mistake, you know that the path is still there. You've just gone off the path slightly, so you just come back onto the path. So the learning comes in the doing. And there's that phrase, the obstacle is the way. So I very much felt like I knew I was on the way, and the obstacles would just melt away as long as I kept on the way, as it were. So that, having that confidence to if you've got the vision, then you will get there anyway, because you've got the vision. So distilling that and coming into that and clarifying that was certainly the kind of win in the short term. And then actually doing it, and then having a bottle and a label and a website and doing a first run and getting feedback and going to distributors, all of that stuff. When I came to you, that was all in my mind, and then by the end of it, when I came, it had all happened. So
you had it. Yeah, it all happened. It was so exciting. And that's what I love about this work. That's what fuels me and I get really excited about, is that it's a combination of that stretch goal, of the vision, of the wider picture, of the impossible idea, and making it possible, and then probable, and then inimitable, like definitely going to happen. And it's that combination of the stretch goals and the taking of the next right steps, and also being held accountable, but in a loving, supportive way. And you mentioned sort of times when you do something wrong, and I believe that there is no wrong, there's just discovery, right? There's something that comes up and you go, oh, I didn't expect that, hang on, how do we tackle this, and stay on the path and learn from it and grow. So how did, you said that obviously at the end of our program, you had your website, you had the bottle in hand, you had the first batch ready, literally. You sent me one of them, and it's absolutely great. I love it. I still do ceremonies using it, because it's Alex's, he does angel Reiki, and it's coupled with a ceremonial experience when you're drinking the Cordus, the low alcohol liqueur, or it's no alcohol, is that right?
Yeah, so it's less than 0.5, so it's probably call it alcohol free, or no alcohol free is fine. But it's
special and it's beautiful. And I've had a sommelier, a wine connoisseur, say this is so special to have such a high quality liqueur in a no alcohol drink, because it's very difficult to create that. So what you've created is a beautiful thing, and it's been amazing to be part of your journey in that. So is there a highlight story that you want to share?
I think I was just saying, I think in overall, there is an alchemy in making liquid or making a drink, especially an alcohol-free one that uses crystals and Reiki to raise its vibration. But I think what it shows me, that anyone doing this kind of course, as humans, we're all alchemists, because we, anything we want to bring into the world starts in our imagination or in our mind, and then we bring it into the physical. So we are manifesting, we are alchemists. And I think that in a way is what this course taught me, is that I am an alchemist, that I do have those metaphysical powers, and we all do, without being, without kind of overcooking it. But I think, when we did the visioning, and we that was very special, because you were taking me on a very deep internal meditation and visualization about seeing my business at its optimum, and what I wanted to see in terms of production, in terms of the label, in terms of, but also me sharing my story and my liquid as very much an integral part of my purpose for being on this planet, like soul alignment. And so I think when we did that, and I told you I had that real like third eye activation, and I got this giant got rainbow Merkaba coming in, and I was just like, and it was a very special experience, because it was quite a kind of epiphany, awakening moment where I realized that this is actually what I'm here to do, both in the low space, sharing the benefits of a sober life, but also these these magical drinks that enhance your frequency and light body, and also taste delicious as well. So yeah, it was a really, that particularly was very special.
One thing that I think is really special about you, Alex, is that you run, you know, a successful property business. You're very grounded and practical, but then you had, you know, this side of you that you wanted to explore, that spiritual realm, you know, and wanted to explore that and create it into a viable business on the ground. And that, you know, our relationship being one where you practice yoga in my membership, where we did our morning coaching, the miracle morning practice, where we do goal setting, you know, we do visioning and yoga and meditation every morning together as a community at that time, because it was lockdown and we were doing every weekday morning. And when I relaunch it, we'll be doing Monday, Wednesday and Friday, but that's for another time. But what I love is that it all came together, you know, that it's actually uniting, you know, there is no one component of a human being that exists without all of the others. You know, we are living and breathing our physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, socioeconomic, political and environmental lives simultaneously. And so to get those in alignment, you know, Dalai Lama says that that happiness is when what you say, what you think and what you speak are in alignment as with what you feel. And so that, you know, that quest of going, okay, I don't need to put a brave face on things and pretend that things are fine when I'm actually feeling rubbish. I actually get to live a happy and fulfilling, joyful life every day. It's just about taking those next right steps that get me there. You know, none of us need to be living an average life or a life that we feel isn't the best life that we could possibly be living. You know, there's an element, yes, of endurance that is very key when it comes to fulfilling our goals, but it's about, you know, having unwavering faith and commitment and boundless energy towards fulfilling those goals that are going to best serve us in life. And yeah, and it's been such a pleasure working with you, Alex, and I look forward to doing so hopefully again in the future. And I'm really grateful for you showing up today. Thank you so much. Yeah,
Wish you very good luck with the new course, and yeah, we'll no doubt we'll speak soon.
Yeah, great. Lots of love, Alex. Thanks.
Bye-bye. Bye.
All right, bye.